Hello and welcome. If you're tuning in, chances are you're thinking smart about your retirement, maybe looking at tangible assets, perhaps even gold
Mm.
or silver.
And that's exactly what we're digging into today.
Yeah, we're tackling a really specific question. Can you actually hold silver in what most people call a gold IRA?
Right. And the quick answer, just to get it out there, is yes, you absolutely can. It's technically a precious metals IRA, but yes, silver is on the list.
Okay, good. So let's unpack that. A precious metals IRA, it's a self-directed retirement account, right?
Exactly. So instead of just stocks and bonds, you can hold physical metals.
Hmm.
Gold, obviously, but also silver, platinum, palladium.
The idea being it's a hedge, maybe against inflation, add some diversification.
Precisely. Diversification and a potential inflation buffer are key drivers for most people.
So this deep dive is all about figuring out how silver fits into that picture. We'll look at the IRS rules, got to know
Oh
those,
yeah, the rules are non-negotiable.
and the benefits of silver specifically, storage requirements, which sound important, and just the basic steps involved.
We've waded through the regulations, the IRA details, all that stuff to give you the clear picture.
Our goal here is for you to walk away understanding how silver could work in your retirement savings without getting bogged down in jargon.
So where do we start? I guess with the big one. What does the IRS actually say? Is silver officially allowed in these accounts?
Yeah, that's definitely the foundation. And yes, the IRS gives it the green light. Silver is permissible within a precious metals IRA. But, and this is a big but, there are rules.
Always rules.
Always rules. And the main one for silver is purity. It has to be at least 99.9% pure.
That 0.9% is critical. It's not just any old silver coin or bar.
Right.
The IRS sets these standards to make sure the metal held has, real intrinsic value. And it applies to the other metals too. Gold, platinum, palladium all have their own purity thresholds.
99.9% for silver,
Minimum.
minimum. And that means you've got to be careful where you buy it from. Reputable sources are key to guaranteeing that purity. Okay, so assuming you get the right kind of silver, why would you choose it? Why add silver to your IRA, maybe instead of, or alongside gold? What's the upside for our listeners?
Well, there are several good reasons. I think the first one that comes to mind for most people is diversification.
Okay.
Adding silver means you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, even within precious metals. Silver sometimes moves differently than gold in the market, spreads the risk.
Makes sense. Don't bet the farm on one thing. What else?
Another really practical point is the cost of entry. Silver, generally speaking, is much more affordable per ounce than gold.
Right, significantly so.
Yeah. So for the same amount of money, you can buy a lot more physical silver. That makes it more accessible if you're just starting or if you want to build up a decent physical holding without a huge initial cost.
So you get more ounces in your hand, so to speak, for your investment.
Exactly. It can feel more substantial for the same dollar amount compared to maybe buying a fraction of a gold coin.
But does it have that same kind of long-term reputation? Gold is seen as the store of value. Does silver measure up?
It does, historically speaking. Silver's been used as money in a way to preserve wealth for, well, centuries, just like gold. Maybe gold gets more headlines today, but silver has a really long track record, too.
Okay, and here's something I find fascinating about silver.
hmm
It's not just money or an investment, is it? It's used in, well, loads of industries.
That's a huge factor
Yeah.
and a major difference from gold. Gold's demand is mostly jewelry and investment. Silver, it's everywhere.
Like where?
Electronics, for starters, it's incredibly conductive. Solar panels, vital component there. Even medical uses, thanks to its antibacterial properties.
Wow. Oh,
So you've got this dual source of demand. People want it as money, like gold, but industry needs it as a raw material. And that industrial demand is growing. Think about solar energy expansion, electric vehicles.
EVs need silver too.
Oh, yes, quite a bit in the electrical systems. So that industrial pool could potentially support its price or even drive growth in a way that's different from gold.
So if I'm hearing you right, gold is maybe the stable anchor, the traditional safe haven. Silver is more affordable, lets you buy more quantity, has that historical value, plus this industrial demand kicker that could add growth potential.
That sums it up pretty well. Lower cost, potentially higher volatility than gold, maybe a higher growth ceiling because of that industrial use, allows for bigger physical accumulation early on. It's a different profile.
Okay, really interesting differences. So we know why someone might want silver. Let's get back to the practicalities, the how, and crucially the where. Where does this silver actually live once it's in your IRA? You can't just take it home, right?
Absolutely not. That's probably the most important rule after purity. The IRS is crystal clear. Any precious metals in an IRA, silver included, must be held by an IRS-approved depository.
An approved third party.
Yes, you
Yeah.
cannot have personal possession. No storing it in your basement safe, no burying it in the backyard, not even a safe deposit box at your local bank branch.
And if you do?
Big trouble. The IRS treats it as a distribution. Like taking money out of your IRA early, that means taxes, and likely some pretty hefty penalties on top.
Ouch. Okay, so definitely no home storage. It has to go to one of these special depositories. What are they like?
They're highly secure facilities. Think vaults, security systems, insurance, regular audits. They specialize in holding these assets for IRA accounts. It's all about ensuring the metal is safe, accounted for, and meets the IRS requirements.
Right, so the system has integrity. Makes sense. So if a listener is thinking, okay, silver sounds interesting, I want to do this, what are the actual steps? How do they make it happen?
First step, and it's a big one, is choosing a reputable Gold IRA company.
Not just any financial advisor.
No, you really need a specialist firm. These companies know the ins and outs of setting up and managing these specific types of IRAs. They handle the paperwork, ensure compliance, work with the depositories.
So they guide you through it all.
They should, yes. Look for a company with a solid track record. Check reviews, look at their fees, make sure they're transparent, and see what their customer service is like. Due diligence here is really important.
Okay, find a good Gold IRA company. Step 1, what's next?
Step 2 is getting the actual silver. And remembering that purity rule, 99.9% minimum.
Right.
So you need to buy eligible silver products. Your IRA company can help here, but popular choices are things like American Silver Eagle coins or Canadian Silver Maple Leafs. Those are very common.
Are there others?
Oh yeah, Australian Silver Kangaroos, for example. The key is that they meet the purity standard and are generally accepted for IRAs. Your company will confirm eligibility. And keep all your purchase records. Very important.
Keep the receipts. Got it. So you've picked the company, you sourced the right silver. Then what?
Then the IRA company helps you set up the actual self-directed IRA account. Often this involves rolling over funds from an existing retirement account, like an old 401k or a traditional IRA.
So you're moving money from one retirement pot to another.
Exactly. It's usually a tax-free transfer or rollover. They handle the mechanics of getting your silver purchased and securely shipped directly to the approved depository you've chosen with them.
And then you just monitor it.
Pretty much. You get statements, you keep an eye on your investment, stay informed about the market. The IRA company manages the account administration and storage coordination.
Okay, that clarifies the process. Now, we covered a lot, but I bet some specific questions are popping up. Our sources anticipated a few common ones, so let's run through a quick FAQ. First up, you mentioned eagles and maple leafs. Can you remind us of some eligible silver coins again?
Sure. Again, the key is 99.9% purity. So American silver eagles, Canadian silver maple leafs, Australian silver kangaroos are common examples. Austrian philharmonics too, often. Always best confirm with your IRA provider, but those are widely accepted.
Good. Next question. Are there any extra penalties just for having silver in the IRA, assuming you follow the rules?
No, absolutely not. If you follow the rules, purity standard met, stored in an approved depository, it's perfectly legal. And there are no specific penalties just for choosing silver. Penalties only come into play if you break those IRS rules.
Like trying to store it yourself.
Exactly. That's the big one.
Which brings us to the next point. Let's hammer this home. Home storage. Can you do it?
Still no, definitely not. I know we keep saying it, but it's crucial. All IRA precious metals must be held by an approved third-party custodian or depository. Home storage equals distribution, equals taxes and penalties. End of story.
Crystal clear. Okay, last FAQ. Costs. It's not just the price of silver, right?
Yeah.
What other fees are involved?
That's a really important consideration. Yes, besides buying the silver itself, there are ongoing costs. Storage fees at the depository are typical, could be, say, $100 to $300 a year, maybe more, depending on how much metal you have.
Like?
There might be an initial setup fee for the IRA account itself, and potentially transaction fees when you buy or sell metal within the IRA.
So you need to get a clear breakdown of all the fees from the Gold IRA company up front.
Absolutely. Understand the total cost of ownership, not just the metal price, before you commit.
Great advice. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. What's the main takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the core message is, yes, you can strategically use silver within a precious metals IRA to diversify your retirement. It's a valid option, but
you have to follow the rules.
you absolutely have to follow the IRS rules. Purity, 99.9%, and storage in an approved depository. Get those right, and you're good.
And the potential upsides we discussed.
Yeah.
lower entry costs than gold, diversification, and that unique industrial demand element,
Silver isn't just a monetary metal, it's a vital industrial commodity, too.
which leads to maybe a final thought for people to ponder.
Yeah, something to think about. As technology advances, especially in green energy, electronics, EVs, that industrial demand for silver seems likely to keep growing, doesn't it?
It certainly looks that way.
So how might that increasing industrial consumption affect silver's long-term value as part of your retirement savings? It's definitely an interesting angle to consider when you're looking at the role different metals might play in securing your financial future.